Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time coming across this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Precious, and please don't forget to subscribe and put on your notification bell so you get notified each time I upload a new video. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful butterfly rose skirt. So if this is what you want to see, definitely keep on watching. So to make this skirt, we're going to be needing like 2 yards of fabric. What I have here is 3 yards, so we're not going to be using all of it. And the materials we need is just our tiny elastic, our zip, and our thread. So let's get started. So the measurement we're going to be taking is our full length. The length we're going to be working with is 37 inches. So we're just going to mark at the 37 inches. So the next measurement we're going to be taking is our hip measurement. Our hip measurement is 8 inches. That's our hip line. So we're going to take our waist measurement. We're going to be dividing it by 4 and adding extra 7 inches allowance to it. So coming to our hip line, we're going to divide our hip measurement by 4 and we're going to add extra 7 inches allowance to it. So we're just going to make our curve from our waist to our hip. So the same measurements which we used for our hip line is what we're going to be using for our hemline. So the same inches we added for our hip is going to be adding for the hemline. So this fabric is a little bit stretchy. So we're going to be arranging it, making sure everything is equal, making sure everything is nice and neat. We're going to be cutting it out. So please, if you want to make this skirt, do ensure you cut on the right side of the fabric, not the wrong side, because we're going to be sewing on the right side of the fabric. So you're going to place yours like I placed mine. So this is the front. So I'm just making sure everything is equal, the hip line, the waistline, and the hemline. So after doing that, I'm going to place my front on top of the back, and I'm going to leave 1 inch allowance for zipper. So I'm going to be taking my waist measurement and I'll mark it. Then from where I marked my actual waist measurement, I'll be coming down by 1.5 inch, 1.5 inches, and I'm going to make a curve like you see me doing. So just measure your waist measurement with no extra allowance, just your actual waist measurement. Then from that point, you come down by 1.5 inch just to make that curve. So after making that curve, I know what I'm doing is not that visible, but just try to pay attention, you'll understand it. So we're just going to cut that out and also open up our zipper allowance, which is the back. So setting the front aside, I'm going to open up the back and I'm going to be pinning it down. So we'll be using our pins to pin it all the way to the top. So after doing that, we're going to be sewing on our skirt. So this is the extra 7 inches allowance that I have. So from that 7 inches allowance point, we're going to make a straight line downwards. So what we're going to be doing is we'll be taking our actual measurement. So we'll come down by 8 inches for our hip line, and we're going to mark that. Then we're going to mark our actual hip measurement with no extra allowance. So you're not going to add any allowance to that. So just measure it and mark as you see me doing. So we're going to be marking that on both sides, because we're going to be making a loose stitch, a tight stitch to that, sorry. So our waist measurement, we're going to be doing that as well. We'll mark it to the top. So from that point where you marked, from your hip, from your waist to your hip, you're going to be making a tight stitch to the hem downwards, and you're going to be making another tight stitch close to that one you made, close to the first one, like 1/4 of an inch, like wide enough for you to add your tiny elastic to it. So after we do that, we're going to cover our zipper allowance. We're going to remove the pins and stitch it up. So after we've run a tight stitch, I know you can't see what I'm doing because the material is not visible, but you're going to understand what I'm doing. So I ran a tight stitch, 2 lines, wide enough to accommodate my tiny elastic. So this is the reason why you should not cut on the back of your fabric on the wrong side. You cut on the right side, because we're going to be making use of the right side. So now we're going to be inserting our elastic inside that tiny lines, those tiny lines we made by the sides. So you just have to take your time and do it gently, because the lines are very tiny. So this is the first part, the first side, and you see how ruched is looking. So that's the other side. We're still going to be doing the same thing for the other side. So you can use your broom to insert it if you do not have a tiny pin to do it. So whatever works for you, you can just do it gently and make sure it doesn't fall inside. So after I added my elastic to this, we're going to be stitching it. So we're going to take this to our sewing machine, and we're going to tack it so it doesn't fall inside. So we'll tack the both ends, the hem sides and the waist side also. So you can see the beauty of the skirt is becoming obvious. So now we're going to be adding our band to the skirt and also our zipper. The width of our band is 4 inches, and when it is unfolded, it becomes 2 inches. Then the length of the band is our waist measurement plus 1 inch allowance. So I added 1 inch just because the material is stretchy. So we're going to be adding our zipper to the back. Then after that, we're going to add our band to it. So this is how simple it is to make this skirt, and I want you to try it out. It's really easy to make. It's a DIY, you can do it yourself. So after adding the band to it, this is what it looks like. So thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.